Hi, I'm Royden Jones. I'm a neurologist at the Leahy Clinic. I've been here for 40 years. I've also been on the staff at Boston Children's Hospital for 35 years and have enjoyed a practice in both adult and some child neurology, the latter more in neuromuscular disorders. The Netter Green books are very special. There's nothing like them in the world. Frank's ability to portray very complicated anatomical issues and pathology was absolutely amazing. And these have been kept up intermittently over the years. As I mentioned, I used one my first year in medical school, and that was published in 1956, and I bought it in 1958. And then he went on to complete the whole body systems, cardiology, gastroenterology, etc. And then by some degree of serendipity, I asked at a meeting one time of whether he was interested in doing some more neurology things. And he sent me a handwritten letter. The person I'd spoken to was the SIBA educational person, and they had an education division with SIBA Pharmaceutical. And so originally he wanted me to do something for an orthopedic volume, and then as we worked together, he said, let me show you the neurology one that's laying fallow. And he'd already started it with a chap by the name of Bill Fields, who was very well respected, but Bill was getting on in age and he sort of gave up on it. So Frank asked me if I would go ahead and be the editor of that volume. And it worked out quite well. It was kind of interesting that he had some drawings that he wanted to use a lot of, and they were totally out of date, like the thoracic outlet syndrome, which in fact most people had carpal tunnel syndromes. I didn't even hear of a carpal tunnel syndrome until I was a medical resident, but we heard a lot about thoracic outlet, and that was all wrong. It was difficult to convince him that those beautiful paintings, only one of them was of value, that of the anatomy, but we went ahead and did that. He was a splendid person to work with. There's a whole series of Netter's neurology, cardiology, and my colleagues here at Leahy have been the authors of 2 editions of Netter's neurology, and we're very proud of those editions. I had great help from 2 of my colleagues, Jayshree Srinivasan and Gregory Alam, who are clinical neurologists, and then a neuroradiologist, Richard Baker, supplied us all the illustrations of MRIs, etc. And that textbook is oriented towards the resident. It's a little too much, I think, for a medical student, but and also for someone studying for recertification exams, that textbook would give a very well outlined review. One of the things that's interesting in that is I've always taught by the case method, and so each of the chapters have at least 1 or 2 cases that have been seen here live at the Leahy Clinic, and we use those to illustrate various points. The new Green Book edition we're also very proud of. It is a massive undertaking, and so I asked 3 of my colleagues around the country to help with it. One, Ted Burns, who's a professor at the University of Virginia, Michael Amanoff, who's a professor at the University of California, San Francisco, and Scott Pomeroy, who's the physician-in-chief of the neurology department at Boston Children's Hospital. So we divided up the works between us and solicited other people to do some of the writing. Each of us did some of the writing for the book. And we oriented this towards the medical student and the resident. Each plate has a text of 650 to 700 words, and we were very fortunate when we recruited people. We went for the absolutely top people in the various fields, and whether it was multiple sclerosis or stroke, Barry Arneson did the multiple sclerosis, Lewis Kaplan here in Boston did the stroke, and they were all very excited about doing this, and we put this in a very practical fashion. So it starts with the embryology of the nervous system and takes us up through the development of the brain, and then on into the maldevelopment, if you will, in later years when people get Alzheimer's disease. So one can see the entire spectrum. We had a different author champion each section for us,